Welcome back to Real Health and thank you for tuning in. Circulation is vital for life. It keeps the heart pumping and delivering rich oxygenated blood throughout the entire body, which carries nutrients that are much needed for good health. It's therefore important to maintain healthy circulation to avoid complications that come with poor or bad circulation. In the Real Health Medicine Cabinet is a natural supplement that improves circulation and leads to better blood vessel health and to a better you. But before we tell you all about it, let's first find out a little bit more about the dangers of living with bad circulation and some of the natural solutions that can help. For this discussion, I'm joined in studio by phytotherapist Vincent Tones. Welcome, Vincent. It's always nice to have you here.
Thank you, Mike.
Now tell us, circulation, obviously we know that the heart pumps the blood, but we don't often think about the way that the blood moves through the body, and that essentially is circulation.
It is. I think if one had to describe it, it's almost like everything in our body is about peristaltic movement. So everything. If we have to eat food, you need your colon, your intestines to have a peristaltic movement, elasticity.
Yes.
The same thing with the heart. The heart has to pump blood through vessels, which, funny enough, I looked up the fact that if you had to link every blood vessel in the body, it would go around the world for one human, around the world 4 times.
Grief. Jeez, that's
the distance that capillaries, veins, arteries put together one human body that your poor heart has to actually pump blood through.
And if there are any hindrances, it's a problem for the heart.
That's where the blood pressure side comes in, where it actually starts straining if the veins and capillaries don't have that same peristaltic movement. It has to have elasticity and help the blood to flow through it.
Okay, so that would be ideal, good circulation, everything's moving freely, it's comfortable, it's working. What would poor circulation then actually be?
It would be where the blood actually is not able to go from one section of the actual vessel through valves, and it starts pooling is one point.
Okay.
2, you'd start feeling the first signs is cold hands and feet.
Okay.
And you can shake somebody's hand or touch them and just feel that coldness.
Yes.
And they'll tell you, hey, I actually have pins and needles at night time. Or if it's slightly cold, it's cold to the touch.
Yes.
That's your first signs that blood's not actually moving to the extremities with oxygenated blood.
And that wouldn't necessarily be that it's just at the extremities it's a problem. There could be something higher up that's not letting it get there.
All the way through. It could be lack of certain nutrients. It could be a smoker. It could be a diabetic. Diabetics really suffer with bad circulation.
Right.
Only because of the same thing, uric acid levels being too high, but it's about circulatory blood actually getting to the ends and feeding those nerves. Otherwise you start getting neuropathy, sort of the deadening of the nerves.
And ultimately in a diabetic gangrene potentially. And
that's an extreme limit where blood can't get to that wound, and that actual leg ulcer begins to actually really deteriorate. So one has to improve circulation to help prevent deadening of the nerves and reverse it, and then ultimately not to actually get to a point where you have a leg ulcer for a diabetic. That's really extreme. And I think also in the same way, varicose veins, little spiders, when you actually start getting little spiders, where the actual capillaries are starting to twist themselves. Those are your signs that you're needing to improve circulation, and not only that, you're needing to put back the actual nutrients to repair that elasticity. Because everything's about collagen and elasticity.
Right, absolutely. Now, going back to the varicose veins just for a moment, you say the twisting which then causes those to appear, is it because blood is effectively getting trapped inside them and then sort of bruising almost? Or what is the actual activity of a varicose vein? It's
actually, there's 2 sides to it. If you take an elastic band, if you take that elastic situation, that's what we need. But what happens is they become non-elastic. So the vein or the artery actually then becomes flaccid and flattened. And when it flattens, it actually restricts the blood flow, and what it does is it twists. And when you have a twisting, you end up having one side blood starting to pool in that area where you actually see that swollen varicose vein becoming an actual large area, and invariably a person would say, well, hang on, what do I do here? We've got to put back the elasticity.
So it's like an old hose pipe when you sit sitting in the sun, it gets squashed and bent
and twisted. That's all it is. And what we're having to do is actually put back through dietary methods and through supplementation. We've got to put back what's called rutin or collagen. And collagen makes up almost everything. How elastic our skin is, our body's being held together, is all about elasticity. So we're becoming almost like an elastic band. You pull it and it snaps.
Yes, yeah.
Non-elastic.
Absolutely.
And that's the part we shouldn't be doing.
So if you've got poor circulation, you've got to the point where your veins are starting to sort of collapse a little bit and are non-elastic, can you repair that, or is it a case of managing, you've now got it, you've got to manage it and try and stop it, or can it be fixed and corrected?
I'd like to be bold and say that by taking the correct nutrients, the correct bioflavonoids, that one can actually reverse it.
Okay.
It is a tiniest thing. It takes time.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 3 and 6 months. In fact, the rule of thumb is if you've got a varicose vein and it's starting to actually throb and you've had it and you've seen it progress from little spiders to the varicose vein to possibly even worse, which is your deep vein thrombosis.
Right.
You would take the ailment, let's say you've had it for 15 years, it would take you 15 months to reverse it.
So it's a long
is the rule of
process.
thumb.
Yeah.
It's a long process. So if you can see you starting to get little spiders and you know you've had it maybe for a year, 2 years, we're talking about 2 to 3 months supplementation to reverse it, and then ultimately stay on a lower dose type supplement to prevent it happening. Prevent it.
From a dietary and lifestyle perspective, what are some of the things that we can do to prevent poor circulation?
Cayenne pepper in your diet, chilies, anything which has a bit of a hotness to it.
And that comes from the capsaicin in those vegetables.
Capsicum, that's exactly it, yes. That actually has what's called a rubificient effect. A ruby, it draws blood to the outer...
So it's a stimulant in a way.
It's a warming, it's a warming. Black peppers, red pepper, your black pepper, actual pepper itself. Anything that's hot, and then anything that's green. So green, spinach, broccoli, all your green type vegetables contain chlorophyll, and chlorophyll is the lifeblood that allows everything to become elastic. So it helps us to actually produce collagen.
And then things like collagen, particularly a bone broth, things like that are quite useful.
If you're going to have, sometimes what people do is instead of cooking a chicken as in roasting it, some people actually start putting in water and boiling it up gently to actually get the collagen out of the actual bone. And then using that as almost like a soup base. So you'd add it to your vegetable soups.
It's your stock,
that's your stock. It's your stock. It's your flavor, but it's collagen rich.
And from a vegan perspective, are there sort of organic versions of collagen?
Anything with a bioflavonoid in it. In other words, it's rich in vitamin C. It's a form of vitamin C. So things like your bromelain, your papaya, your pineapple type, your fruits where you actually have the vitamin C rich, rosehip, parsley. Parsley, very rich. So that's the type of herbs and plants that we'd use. Anything that's green would assist you to produce collagen. It may not have the collagen in it, but it assists you to convert and create collagen within yourself through greens.
Fantastic. So apart from getting those nutrients through dietary aspects, are there other lifestyle things that you should be looking at as well for circulation?
Well, I think it's really exercise. Helping to get, in other words, don't become you know, if you're going to park somewhere near a shopping centre, park the furthest point and walk. You know,
so get the
circulation going. Don't sit down and just be a couch potato on the weekends. Just do something, a bit of gardening.
Yes, absolutely.
Bit of exercise.
Move. It's a great way to live, I think.
It's about,
it really is.
Take your shoes off and feel the earth and walk.
Wonderful, my kind of life. The Real Health team went out and tried NatureLife CircuWell, a natural circulation booster which also improves blood vessel health. We've added it to the Real Health medicine cabinet, and Vincent is going to chat to us about it in a little bit more detail. So Vincent, what is in CircuWell? I mean, we've mentioned some natural sources of beneficial nutrients and things for circulation. What does this comprise of?
Number one is horse chestnut, which is a herb which is very good for elasticity, restoring elasticity. So it has a function of actually helping to get the elasticity to untwist the vein, so that blood can flow again. So that with an ingredient called rutin, it's actually part of your bioflavonoid family.
Yes, you mentioned
rutin is probably the most important active in terms of circulatory and internal elasticity. In other words, to reinstate and restore that flow. The next one is vitamin B3. We use what's called a nicotinic acid form of it. In other words, it has a little bit of a rubificient effect, tingly sensation. You'll take a capsule in the morning, you'll feel slightly warmed, last 10 minutes. It doesn't affect any medications. It has no side effects or contraindications.
Okay.
But it gets the blood flowing,
right,
which is very important.
Okay.
Cayenne, that's one of the main actives there.
Right.
Instead of having it on your food, if you're not really one for hot food,
warm foods, yeah,
here you'd take your capsule.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people take 2 capsules in the morning, get a bit of a warm feeling, especially with winter coming on.
Absolutely.
10, 15
Wonderful.
minutes, you feel great, and then start the day. Otherwise, most people take 1 at breakfast, 1 at dinner.
Okay.
And you'll find within 3 months, if you took a photo of the varicose vein or the spider,
yes,
take it as you start CircuWell.
Okay.
Take it in 3 months, take it at 6 months, and let the person using it
to see the difference.
See the difference.
Fantastic.
That aching, that throbbing starts dissipating. One of the best stories we've had is a lady who had a deep vein thrombosis, 2 of them on her leg. And her circulation was so bad that in actual fact her short-term memory was starting to diminish drastically.
Her brain
where it actually affects the brain. If you don't have fresh oxygenated blood to the brain, your memory and concentration starts depleting. That's where dementia, that's where Alzheimer's, anything where circulation is involved.
Absolutely.
1 week later,
okay,
she actually could walk in and talk about things that had happened the day before.
So it's almost like a flushing out and a reinvigorating, which is absolutely
restarting everything.
Perfect.
So it's never too late.
Okay, great.
Start on it and get your circulation right. And get those aching legs and restless legs and all the pains, get it going, get the blood moving.
Vincent, where is it available?
It's go to your local pharmacy. It's very, it's literally going into the commercial market now.
Okay.
Get your pharmacy to order it from their wholesalers. Wholesalers are fully stocked all around the country.
Great.
So it's about you asking your pharmacist, please can I have NatureLife CircuWell?
Okay, fantastic. Vincent, so lovely to chat to you. Thank you for being with us again today.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.